Hello. What an honor it is to be here today to present the Walter and Evelyn Haas Jr. Award for Outstanding LGBTQ Leadership for Immigrant Rights to a friend and a fearless advocate, Glenn D. Magpantay. Glenn is the Executive Director of the National Queer Asian Pacific Islander Alliance, or NQAPIA, a national federation of Asian American, South Asian, Southeast Asian, and Pacific Islander LGBTQ organizations. API faces might not be the first faces that you picture when you think about immigration, but API people have long been subjected to discriminatory immigration policies. From the Chinese Exclusion Act to the Japanese intern camps that targeted both immigrants and citizens, Asian immigrants to this country have too often been attacked and mistreated. As a queer Latino, I often remind people that 1 in 6 Americans are now Latino, but many people don't realize that Asian Americans are now the fastest growing racial group in this country. In less than 25 years, 1 in 10 Americans will be of Asian descent. As our country becomes more and more diverse, Latinos, APIs, and other communities of color all need to work together in coalition to make social justice a reality. Glenn is a true leader who has done just that, working in the LGBTQ movement for 30 years and advocating for immigrant rights for 20 years. In his current role at NQAPIA, Glenn has strengthened LGBTQ API leaders across the country. He has worked at the intersection of immigrant rights, racial justice, and queerness, leading bold campaigns for immigration reform, for LGBTQ rights, and for family acceptance of LGBTQ people in API families. Before taking the helm of NQAPIA, he was a civil rights attorney at the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund, where he sued states and cities for bilingual ballots and minority voter discrimination. Anyone who knows Glenn knows that Glenn is not shy. He rocks wonderfully outrageous outfits. He often says things that are inappropriate, yet wise. But I think the thing that I appreciate most about Glenn is the way that he builds community as he builds the movement. Every year after Queen's Pride, he hosts a party at his house, and you can feel the warmth and love of his home and his family. As in the time of the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Japanese internment camps, our country now faces another moment in which immigrants are under vicious attack, being constantly scapegoated. The new president plans to build a fortress-like wall along our southern border. He plans to deport millions of immigrants, separating families and loved ones. He plans to create policies that explicitly discriminate against Muslims on the basis of their religion. At this pivotal moment in our history, we need leaders like Glenn more than ever. Leaders who are bold, who work at the intersections, and who understand that our family and our community and our country are defined not by borders, but by love. For all the great work that Glenn has done, on behalf of the Walter and Evelyn Haas Jr. Fund, I am proud to bestow the annual award for Outstanding LGBTQ Leadership for Immigrant Rights to Glenn D. Magpantay.
It broke already. Okay, but our civil rights will not. All right, fine. You know, if the worst thing that can happen in creating change, I am so humbled and so honored to get this award. Honorees like Not One More, United We Dream, and others who are doing the tremendous work on the ground. You know, I have been doing this work in the community for over 20 years. It is about time I got an award. Thank you so much. I love what I do at NQAPIA. My job is to tell the story of immigrants, how immigrants have built America, how immigrants have built this community. to diversify the face of immigrants as Chinese, as Laotian, as Bangladeshi and Pakistani, of immigrants as computer scientists and as low-wage workers who have both yearned for a green card, and how immigrants are queer. Immigrants are running local organizations. They are volunteering at our events. They are serving the food and the water at fancy hotels. They are leading this in community. We are the human infrastructure of this movement, and this movement must support us. I am a citizen of the United States, and so many of you are also. This is the time to stand up in allyship and to use your privilege to speak out for others as a repressive federal government comes into being. At your tables are postcards to the next Congress, to the current Congress, to support immigrant rights. Please take a moment to sign them. You must sign 4 times. And people from NQAPIA will be circulating them. We need your allyship and we need your voice. You may not be deported, but so many others need you to stand up. I am so grateful to the Haas Junior Fund, to the task force, and to the activists who are putting their lives on the lines to keep us safe and secure. And the 2 people in my life who have made all this possible, my mom and dad. Okay, stop. Let me tell you about them. And I hope my mascara doesn't run. I love you, Mom. My parents came from the Philippines in 1965 after discriminatory restrictions were lifted that prevented so many of us from coming to the United States. They sacrificed greatly for us. My dad worked 2 full-time jobs. I'm sorry, whoa. It's all right, I got it. I'm so lost. My dad worked 2 full-time jobs. When he finished working at 5 p.m., he came home and had dinner, and at 8 o'clock he went back to work. He often slept at the hospital where he worked. He did this to provide for his family, to educate his children, and to give us a better life in this country. You know, as I was growing up in the 1980s, I'm a little older than I look, under Ronald Reagan, they actually dissuaded my activism. They told me, just accept things for how they are. Don't rock the boat. Life is much better here than back home. Or that saying, the nail that stands up gets beat down. But I could not accept that. Too many of relatives came to live with us because they were fleeing government repression back home. Too many people were fearful of being caught by the Immigration Service. Too many professional immigrants who got their visas and believed they were playing by the rules were tricked and told to go back home, leaving their loved ones and their families behind. So I took the road less traveled, but not less traveled here. I joined ACT UP. I attended the first Creating Change conference, and I have been to this conference every year since then. I settled on a career of social justice. And so instead of becoming a doctor, sorry, Mom, instead of becoming you know, they're Asian. This is what we want for our kids. To becoming a doctor, I'll go to law school, Wall Street. I didn't do that, sorry. But I went to law school. I became a civil rights lawyer. I litigated the Constitution of the United States, and I did the work that I wanted to do for my community. Today at NQAPIA, I am training a new generation of leaders of our movement and a building more diverse face of our community. We are creating a vibrant network of activists to speak out and resist under this new administration. And our team of parents are changing hearts and minds through our family acceptance campaign, one person at a time, so that we can be all of who we are and loved for everything that we do. Whether it is for the cause of LGBT equality or immigrants' rights, we have shared struggle, we have common cause. Immigrants' rights are LGBT rights, and LGBT rights are rights for immigrants. We must stand together. So you'll sign those postcards, right? 4 times and turn them in, don't forget. You know, this award is not for me. This award is not for NQAPIA, but it's for my parents. Mom and Dad, thank you for loving me. Thank you for being proud of me. Thank you for accepting all that I have become and for celebrating all that I've done. You are my original dreamers. Thank you.